We're gonna go with Eulith. He went 6-2. Great job with this list coming out of Thailand. We're gonna look over all of 3 of the list, guys. It doesn't matter how they did. It's really just what we can extract from these, because regardless, these are qualifying players to get to this point. They have their ideas, and we can see how it reflects it, right? So with Eulith's list, we have a Deffkilla Wartrike with super cyborg body, something that has been underappreciated in my opinion in the Ork community, or I think in the Warhammer community more or less as a whole, right? I think the Ork community does recognize him, does give him good credit. Even in our Discord on this channel, we brought him up several times. But if you hear other people's outside perspective, they don't really even consider the Deffkilla Wartrike in that kind of way, or Feel No Pain. He's a cheap version of bringing that Feel No Pain, and we'll talk about that in a little bit more. Captain Badrook, always got to bring on the competitive list right now, especially with these movement shenanigans and reactive moves. You're actually going to start to need to punish these other factions that are doing this to you, right?
Yeah, I've seen a bunch more of scout moves, infiltrate moves, people trying to just clog your turn 1. Like, especially with Orks, if you can clog them, just that early game makes a big difference going to 3 and 4 when they're just not at their max potential going into their WAAAGH.
And I think reactionary moves. Yeah. If you people are trying to reaction move, sometimes you're gonna have to start punishing those models when they're trying to. I mean, that's gonna have to be built into high level play now. Right when we thought we were might have been losing their place too because of lack of AP, right? People were starting to think their AP wasn't enough. Well, now we know why. There's another reason to bring them. Nabas Smash Agwapa Skill Chopper, my favorite way to deliver Agwapa Skill Chopper. Zodgrod Wartsnag, just like Christian just said before, with all the infiltrators, with the scouting maneuvers, Zodgrod is coming up a way to combat that with a cheap profile.
Does he give you just scout or does he give you infiltrate too?
He gives you just scout.
Just scout. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's scout 9 though, right?
Yes.
It's an obscene amount.
Yeah, it's a great amount.
Okay.
And then he's pretty cheap. It's him and then a unit of Grats. So, and he fights moderately well on his own, and the Grats have good OC. And making everything +1 to hit, +1 to wound means it counts for himself too, so he becomes pretty deadly.
Yeah.
Two trucks, 1 unit of Burner Boys, 1 unit of Deffkilla. Yeah, everybody knows Deffkilla is sleepy decent. A Flashgate unit, and then a small 5-man unit of Flashgate. So I've talked about this before. You can easily see you most likely put a Burner Boy and a Flashgate unit possibly in a truck. The Flashgates come with the profile for their guns, so in the truck, so they're useful. They're not just sitting like a unit of boys would be for 85 points, right? Just waiting around. And then when they do get out, they're sitting at strength 5. Each guy has 4 attacks base, so they have some fighting potential too, and they can still pop that ammo roll. They don't get the rerolls, but hey, they're popping off that damage. So it's a mixed profile between Burner Boys and the Flashgates to deal with little skirmishes on their own and not require the support. Yet they still have 1 unit of Gretchen, Kustom Boosta Blasta. This is the buggy that you hit a unit, and just by hitting them, you give them -1 to hit.
That's my favorite one.
Yeah, that is your favorite one. I was using it early on. I haven't kept using it, but it's been on the list. 3 2-man units of Meganobz. So we've talked about this on the channel in theory, right? Sticking Meganobz in the middle of the board in tiny units. That way they can do actions. They can stage in buildings. They can bait people for shooting at them. They can bait people for charging them. Christian debated with me a lot about it and said it was trash. Bring something else. This guy took it to the.
Just said we
this
debated.
guy took it. This guy took it all the way, and I really appreciate that he actually did that. I should keep looking into that theory because I didn't put it into actual practice. It was more theory. 3 6-man units of Squighog Boys, and we've seen already they don't all have knobs. They're just straight up. Some of them are just without knobs. There it is. You just decided to bring more Squighog Boys. 1 unit of Storm Boys just for that built-in deep strike, and then a Warbiker unit for the Deffkilla Wartrike. So you have good speed, a lot of feel no pains between those Squighog Boys, and then 2 trucks. Yet the trucks aren't really that valuable. Just the one with the flash kits are, right? As a whole, it's not like there's a bunch of points put into transports on this list.
Yeah, it looks like he could have, if he wanted to, we could have made 3 or 4 trucks, but he used those points elsewhere just for different mobility.
I think he really wanted to maximize Squighog Boys too. It just seems like he really wanted to maximize their units. It just felt like that. Even he didn't care about bringing a character for that. He just wanted the boys just to get out there. And I think that 220 point threshold keeps him kind of cheap. So when they die, they're not your entire army. So let's see if his matchups, because right away he took a loss that first game, as we can see. So let's see what his first matchup was going into. Yonthin. Ooh, so we got the Slaves of Darkness, the CSM. So we have the triple Chaos Lord. They play this similar to how we play our war bosses. Just
one go turn.
Just one go turn. Cheap dude, get out there, fight, die, trade, bam. So we have he has the mark of the undivided. I think they all do. And then are they all the same? What's the difference between them?
Nothing's different.
Nothing different. All right, cool. A cultist mob, 3 rhinos. That's just obviously for the 3 dudes. 1 big brick of chosen, 2 big bricks of chosen, 3 big bricks of chosen. That's it.
It seems like almost seems standard at this point because chosen are such good point value for their points. 220 is just it's the same cost of a Squighog Boys, but it's 30 wounds.
It kills crazy.
Yeah.
It's like bringing knobs essentially. You know how we always talk about the scalpel unit with the knobs? You're just staging these rhinos. These guys are getting out with Chaos Lords, and then they're fighting and they're
the fact that they can go in rhinos that can just not be shot is pretty cool.
Yeah, isn't that? So you just built in state. Imagine that, guys. Well, explain that. Explain that because I just went right over that. The mark of Nurgle makes it so they can't be targeted.
So the Chaos Rhino just puts these guys wherever they want. And that's Stratus scene and just says you can't shoot. It just basically gives them lone up.
Yes,
which is insane.
You can't shoot a Nurgle unit unless it's within 12 inches. You have to explain the whole rule out.
And even if you're within 12, it's still -1 to hit.
Yeah,
so not even guaranteed to pop it.
Okay, so then that's how they're staging with these chosen units that are essential. Imagine if our trucks can move, not be shot, the knobs and the war balls could get out and then hit you, and then they'd also get sustained and lethal on their hits as well.
And reroll all hits and wounds.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Yes. And then we have the Forge Fiend with the Mark of Nurgle as well, in case their gun line needs to stay hidden. Another Forge Fiend that doesn't have the Mark of Nurgle, that way you can actually get like sustained and such like that. 2 units of obliterators, even these 2 small units is fine because then you can utilize their out of line of sight you move shooting, and they're not like big invest. And then 1 unit of Warp Talons followed by 1 unit of Nurgling, or just straight Nurgling action. This is actually a very killy list. Like we just talked about before, when Orks are going against another unit that has transports, you're going to struggle because we can't pop their transports. Interestingly enough, even with all those Squighog boys, he got obliterated. Possibly chosen just straight killed them. Forge Fiends could put some damage into them because the trucks aren't really that much of a threat. Then there's no priority into killing them, right? Knowing there's Flash Kiss and a Burner Boy on them doesn't do anything to this list. That would just be a throwaway unit, but then Forge Fiend can take it out, obliterate it once you make it to the mid part of the table, and then obliterators fight okay too if you have to go in and clean up too. Whatever. So they also get great flexibility, right? With the chaos, they can fall back and charge. They can fight on death. They have access to all the rules, rules in the game. So no shame there. He's a great player. I'm sure if you lose to anybody in these matchups, it was they were a great person to even end up there. So let's go into his next game. What he did end up winning, which is another Black Legion match. But this was the old way, right? What I mean by the old way is people aren't really into bringing Abaddon. It's still about 40% people are, but the meta is shifting to no Abaddon, more Chaos Lords, more stuff. Yeah, because you need more ways to trade, die, play the mission. Abaddon, Dark Commune, Cultist Mob, another Cultist Mob of Nurgle.
Yeah, that's a Curse Cultist.
Sorry, Curse Cultist Mob. Sorry, these are the ones that have the thick boy in there that can have the 3 wounds.
Take way too many units, make too many points.
Yeah. I think Orks kill them.
Orks are pretty good, man.
I was going to say Orks are one of the units that can actually straight kill them because we have straight damage 1 and straight damage 2. So if they're like, it can go into either.
We just throw enough dice at that unit that it dies, but
not
a lot of armies can do that because it's 18 plus 10. It's 28 wounds for that unit with a 5-up invul and 6-up feeling of pain.
Exactly, and that's why even the damage 2 isn't a waste because of 6-up. So you're like, fine, that's fine. I'll put it into them. You have 3 You have 3 wound guys. I'll kill them too. Then you have the Chaos Terminator squad, a big brick to go with Abaddon. I feel like that's a huge investment, right? When you end up seeing that brick as an Orc player, you can just ignore that Terminator list unit. Literally, I would literally kill the units around the Terminator. So sometimes there'll be these smaller units around him trying to stage or play the mission. I'm like, I'm just gonna go right past those Terminators and go kill them because I don't even have to deal with that big brick. A Chaos Vindicator, also Mark of Nurgle, Forge Fiend, a big unit of obliterators. This is something that you can actually run up and kill at that point now since it's actually worth. Warp Talon, another cheap unit, Nurgling, Blue Scribe change. So in this case, he does have his own gun line, but at the same time, he does have a brick of Terminator. So he's only playing 1/4 of the board, while the Orc player is really just taking over everything else. All those Squighog boys are running everything over, touching where they can, having enough OC to survive, even if the Terminators do end up getting eventually over there. There's a lot of ways to play
this looks like a list that's just slow and just tries to just slowly mow you down while you can't kill it back. But the Orc list probably was able to just.
He was built to not be shot. Everything was Mark and Nurgle. He was texted into not being shot, and the Orcs were like, "Cool, bro, not worth it." So his third game right here, going into Eldar, which he did win. So we have the Artarg Way Leaper with the Phoenix Gem, an Avatar of Cain Fugan for that getting up, annoyingness, and then Yinkarn. I think these are about the three of my favorite characters for Eldar. Not that I like them. I'm just saying that that's the way I would more or less want to play them too. 2 Hornets, 2 Night Spinners, Shadow Specters, Swooping Hawk, Warp Spider, Warp Spider. So everything else is for either movement shenanigans to slow you down, for themselves to movement shenanigans to score and play the mission. And then Avatars, Cain, all these guys are trying to fight. But if you're bringing Squighog boys galore and you still have the Flash Get Bomb, you do still have potential to actually kill a lot of this. Kill even their avatar, kill Yig and Karn to a certain extent.
I would just grenade that thing every turn.
Yeah, well, of course, any good orc player knows that. Even tank shock it. Why not? So I tank shock stuff that I don't have great strength over. Sometimes you still got to get amount of dice.
It has damage every turn, so you literally just got to get double.
Well, all those Squig Hog boys means you have all those mine, all the Squig bomb. Yeah. So you're just walking up and you're like, here, take whatever. Here's 6. Yeah. Here's
another grenade. Yes.
So that's what I'm saying. So it's like you actually have the potential to kill all of that. Their stuff that they want to survive, and then your small units. This is where the burner boys and the flash kits in the truck can actually shine here. They'll shoot a unit, they'll charge a unit and fight it. The Overwatch unit, if it moves with even their little trash with their flamers, they can actually kill some of this stuff. So that's cool. Great job there. And he took out Eldar. It was a weird Eldar list, but he took it down. Next is his fourth matchup going into Marco. Was a Grey Knights list. I think Orcs actually do fine into Grey Knights, especially if you have these huge bricks with Squig Hog boys. Yeah. Because you're taking out big portions of their board and you're just soaking up their firepower. Like, so what, bro?
Yeah, one thing I noticed too, I feel like most Grey Knights players as a whole are kind of leaning away from librarians because they either just.
Well, let's see. You just said that, but we have 3. So what do you think?
And he won.
And he brought the enhancements. So he has 3 of them and Caldor Draco. So you like Caldor Draco, though?
I like Draco because he's just +3 to charge when you come out of Eevee. 6 to charge sounds way better than a 9-inch.
For sure. 1 big brick of Terminators, a small unit, 2 small units, 3 small units of Terminators. I kind of like that. And then 2 strike squads. Do you even care for strike squads at all? Is there any place? Whenever I see him, I don't even see the point.
They get scout.
So still, you just want 1 then?
You just want 1.
Maybe 1. Yeah, 1. Caladius Assassin, and then Inquisitorial Henchman, and then Kyra Draxus. I think there's better options than her. She's all right. I just think Kotiaz.
I like Kotiaz. It's just fun. You farm the CP and
for Grey Knights, he's excellent. Yeah. But like I said, with this actual profile, with between Squig bombs that you're putting down, so you can actually put mortal wounds to guys and start picking them up. Profiles of kill all the strike marines, kill the Inquisitor, blah blah blah. Have enough OC to hold the objectives and block people out and be durable for when they try to first alpha strike you.
Yeah, and the fact that they're strength 6 and you're toughness 7, and you need to -1 to win, and you just don't die as an orc player.
Yeah, they don't die, you don't die. But the thing is, we have more volume.
As long as you tag orcs, as long as you tag Grey Knights, they can't teleport away, and that's the game over.
Eventually, they do have to get their alpha strike on you, and it's not hard enough when you have that many squigs to really kill you. But you do have to play movement correctly and play in your P's and Q's. Otherwise, they'll steal your objectives and actually be necessarily right. Let's see game 5. Let me see check 5. Who went to game 5? 1, 2, 3. So this is game 5 right here. That's when you want to make sure we're a good one. After the game 5, we'll check chat real quick because this is what's important. One of our challenging matchups. And I'll just point this out right now as we go over this.
Didn't he get top 8?
Look at that. 90%. 90 points in this game, right? 90 points in this game. You said Liam was a high level person, scored high.
So
did he end up?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay, Liam. No, that's Liam Hackett. That's the other dude. That's the British kid.
Larry's 11th.
11th. Did I see him? Oh, right there. So that's who he lost to.
So this guy won.
So 98. What was it? 98 points. 98 points he put up. So great job by our orc player because he put up 90 points, dude. So you with this dog, man. This guy is out here, man. Shout out. You don't know what I can't talk directly to you. You know what I'm saying right now, but you're awesome. That was because even in this game, what the heck, right? So let's look over this because they got me a little more excited to see he got 90 points. Boom. Biologist Putrefier. So these guys are super annoying for the fact they get free great grenade strats. And what happened for you?
Yeah, so spoiler, if you watch Art of War, they played a stream game today with this list. So you can kind of see.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
That's awesome. Okay.
Yeah. So you can kind of see what the orc player had to
go
against.
Just say, well, then keep going then, big head. You want to cut me off? No, keep going. Keep going over his abilities. You cut me off. Go. So Biologist Putrefier
gives him fights first, and he gives him free grenade strat every turn.
Yeah.
So it's crazy.
Yeah, he's disgusting. And you usually want to bring multiple. So he has 3 of these, followed by Foul Blightspawn, Foul Blightspawn.
I believe those are just.
And actually, yeah. Does he actually give fight first? Let me see. I thought he gave he does lethals. That's what it was. Lethal critical. Sorry. I was gonna say. I was like, hold on. I didn't think. Yeah, Foul Blightspawn I think does fight first because I was gonna say he does the lethal. He does bombs and then lethal. Plus, you can do your actual pay 1 CP for that. So he'll do it for free, and then they'll throw grenades into you with the strat, so they can keep doing it. Which I like that a lot. 50 points, dude. That's like crazy skirmishing. Lethal. Imagine if you do it with orc boys. You can do it with orc boys. If you do it with orc boys, if you could run up for free with orc boys, throw a strat, and then give your orc boys lethals on 6.
Do free mortal
wounds. You'd be all over that. You'd be all over that. And then they can make that's awesome. Combine. Yeah, they can reduce. We'll keep going first. Then we'll go into 1, 2 big units of plague marines, followed by 2 small units of plague marines, 3 rhinos, 3 plague burst crawlos, 2 nurglings, 3 brigands. Boom. So they're playing the transport game against the orcs themselves. The brigands have nasty OC within themselves. So if they're trying to place and hold objectives and screen, they have enough indirect to harass you. Entropy canister, direct fire, anti-tank you, hold their own objectives while still moving up the board slowly, methodically, fighting you, winning on OC, winning on durability in your skirmish cases. Even if you fight on death as an orc, they have a little bit more OC left over, and they probably picked up your unit too. So that's actually pretty interesting here. And like Christian just said, you can go check out the Art of War and actually see how this game played. We don't have to assume too much. As the orc player did, great job, 90 points. 90 points. So the Squig Hog boys were holding their own there. I'm sure still playing the mission, holding their own primary. It really came down to them both trying to score. Yeah, I was going to say, I was one of the mission they played.
Just taking hold.
And what's secondary, taking hold, because you can see that they just came down to just standing there and seeing the secondary. So you lost by 8 points. 8 points. Bad
draws. Yeah, at that point you never know.
Yeah, 8 points. That's so I'd really like to see what happened there. But so then after that we got his next game. Six. Oh yeah. Sorry, I was going in. Been on what's up, chat? Oh, I still had the Deffkilla thing on. That's funny. Oh, shoot. David looks different tonight. Who's this get? Whoa! This is Christian. This is another one of my cousins. What's up? This is the World Eaters lover. And continuously competitive player that's having a good time, enjoying his time. So let's see what's happening here. Whoppa! Good to see Zodgrod Wartrike. Still haven't painted that guy. Me neither. I was just thinking that. I built mine up. Not painted, but I haven't built up. It is cool to see him, and I think he's going to become more and more prevalent. He's been sneaking his way already into the meta because all of the scouting, and if bringing the triple megas for my game Friday versus Nids. Triple mega what? Bringing the triple megas. I want to know. Triple Meganobz. Oh, okay. I was like, sorry. Triple mega 3 baby Meganobz. That makes sense. Is that what he means? The triple 3 baby Meganobz, or
scrap chat, right?
Or he can bring mech dreads. You gotta tell me what you mean there. Elaborate. I like to hear, because there's a lot of mega things in the orc wall. Wall from the soup. Then we got wall for straw for the revolution. What more revolution for the revolution? Meganobz. You're bringing three mans or a big unit? 3 3 mans. All right, that's sick. Yeah, let us know how that goes. I think that honestly works for playing, for baiting, for having something that doesn't get picked up by small alarms fire. I think there's a way to play on some missions more than others, though, right? So let's go into the last couple matchups of him. After Minotaur with Gaunt's Go. So this Gaunt's Go's do, Christian.
They infiltrate and they have just a little lone out body that just kind of just does things. They read a player, return like Grey Knights, I think.
Yeah.
This looks like the list I played against last weekend.
Lord Sol and Leontis giving you that CP and the orders. Platoon commander, tank commanders from all orders, Ursula Creed. 1, 2 units Acadians in 1 infantry squad. Hellhound, Manticore. Ooh. Regimental attaches, which these are these guys used to actually be these are characters that used to you have to pay individually to add to a unit. Now it's just like a bunch of little dudes and they all give their own buffs. A Rogodorn battle, 2 Rogodorn battle tanks. These guys have great DACA, right? And durability. If you don't get dev wounds, you're just going to take most of that. Even if you try to just touch them and stuff. And then just 2 scout sentinels. Right?
Yeah, I honestly figure more. I'm surprised he only has 2.
Yeah, I think that was his issue, in my opinion. His downfall is he doesn't have enough sentinels. He doesn't have enough stuff that he wants to regen. I can see you covering the distance pretty quickly on that one with the orcs, which he did, 98 points. Like I said, if you could touch them, you just start kind of beating them there. Let's see his second to last game here. He had Eldar again. So let's see, we got Artark Willleaper again with the Phoenix Gem. So these guys are just trying to get up continuously. Farseer, Fugan, Spear Seer with Fate's Messenger, and the Yarinkan. Night Spinner, Ranger, Shadow Specters, Swooping Hawks, Warp Spiders, and then a Wraithguard break. Okay, I personally like the melee version more than the shooting. To me, I'm like, stop trying to shoot all the time. Get stuck in.
Yeah, but they're so good.
But on basis, what they're shooting one? I get it, but they're already shooting too much. But here you can see they brought their killing potential somewhat. Instead of an avatar, they have the big brick of Wraithguard. They do have the Karn. Similar to the other list, though, right? Bunch of stuff, score, then just the Night Spinners.
I think Eldar was scheduled to fall back and shoot, so that doesn't even matter if that big brick gets touched, and then they just shoot you anyway.
No, I just think that they're just not good for actually playing the primary and running up and actually doing their thing. They're just a shooting unit. I think you want that as a Wraithguard. I mean, you played into it too. They're hard to kill. You probably just have to move around it.
Ignore them.
Yeah, so you have to move around it. Exactly.
400 points, you just ignore.
Yeah, you're just like it. Which is always an issue in my opinion.
They resurrect too.
And I think at top tables, that's the issue. You bring something that's 400 points that you can walk around, and you just have to hope the enemy can't close the distance to kill the rest. And Orcs are one of those armies that will close the distance. They'll run away from that and kill everything else, and then make you just stand there like, well, if I move correctly, I should be able to get around you. 96 points on that one, and then he ended up his tournament with a 100-point win going into T-Sons. I like to see that, to be honest. Crumping them dusty boys. So we got Armin on Disc of Zeech, Exalted Sorcerer on Disc of Zeech, Exalted Sorcerer, Disc of Zeech, Infernal Master, Magnus, Thousand Sorcerer. So a bunch of Marines probably. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units of 5-man units of movement Marines with Infernal Flamers, 1 Rhino, Amulet Vortex Beaks, and Changeling. So he doesn't even have transports for this. These dudes are just walking around.
There's a lot of solo characters.
Goodness. Yeah. Oh my gosh, dude. That's so. He's just getting run over, dude. What are you gonna do with Screamhawk boys? The Magnus can't be everywhere, dude. You know, like, oh shoot, that's crazy. So I mean, great job by Ulith. I'm saying your name probably incorrectly, but if you see this, whoa, great job, man. You did it great for the Orks. You know, I appreciate what you did. Even with that loss you took, it was against a very good army and to actually one of our hardest matchups, as you can see from the stats. We do this every week, and Death Guard are consistently either top 2 or the hardest matchup of the week every week. So great job for that one loss, and then I mean for that one loss to the Death Guard, and then even his first loss. I mean, that happens, especially when you're fresh.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing with the Death Guard is the Death Guard obviously -1 to hit, and you saw that Yonthin didn't have a bunch of war boxes for +1 to hit or not the Smash Squig, so he was hitting on 4s, maybe hitting on 5s.
I mean, he could be easily hitting on 5s if you're buying Nurgling too. I mean, there was no Typhus on that list that we've seen, but still, if there's Typhus,
trick with the Death Guard is just dirty. I don't know if you guys know, but Nurglings give you
an aura.
You can stage Nurglings behind a melee unit, so when you charge melee unit, they get the contagion -1 to hit, and then Nurgling gets -1.
Well, the contagion is -1 to your ballistic / weapon skill. Stop interrupting me. -1 to your ballistic skill and weapon skill, right? So then that actually allows you to compound it to make it innately -2. Because normally you can't -2 in 40k, which people argue about, but that's why it's important that Death Guard is worded like. And then for you casual people who play into Death Guard as a whole, be aware because Typhus can do that according to his data sheet as well. Then not to mention they have a strat to make them -1 to hit and shooting. So Death Guard can constantly just be doing that. They can literally compound that in both phases. So your flash keys can just be hitting on 6s.
They also have -1 damage and melee if they really, really needed it.
But yep, there you go too. Sucks for you.